Hi, I'm Gabriel from GabrielSeanWallace.com, and in this video I'm going to talk about the long-term effects of breaking integrity with yourself. Now, what is integrity? It comes from the Latin for integer or integer. I'm not sure how to pronounce that Latin word, but that's where it comes from. And what this means is intact. So if you break that integrity, then you are no longer intact, right? You're breaking the intactness of yourself. So if you want to keep yourself intact, then what you need to do is keep in unison with your whole self, right? And this is integrity. To keep your word, to be who you say you are, right? This is to be one. This is to be at union with yourself, to be intact with your principles, with your values, with your ethical system, with your purpose in life, with your vision, to keep all of this intact with your actions, with how you behave, right? So that the outside is intact with the inside. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, right? The map is not the territory here, but it has to be connected. It has to be intact to keep integrity with yourself. And breaking that causes a lot of problems. This is to break away from your moral standards. So if you say that you are honest and fair, right, that you are an honest and fair person, and then there is a test in school, right, and the test papers and the answers are lying on the teacher's desk, right, and the teacher's not there, and neither are any of the students other than you. You're the only student, let's say, in the classroom at the time. Everyone else is out. There's no cameras involved, right? Then if you define yourself as honest and fair, but then you think to yourself, well, you know what? No one's watching, and I could really take advantage of this situation right now, and I can go and look at the answers to this test that I'm about to take. Well, that, you see, is breaking integrity with yourself. You're breaking integrity with your values. So what are the effects? What are the real effects when we come down to it? You might think like, well, who cares, you know? So you've broken integrity with yourself, but no one else knows, so it's okay. But no, it's not okay, because you know, right? And you can lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself and say that either it didn't happen, or it doesn't matter, or whatever it is, right? Maybe it's a one-off, but you can kind of lie to yourself, but a part of you knows that you're lying to yourself. So now you've disconnected yourself, and that now you have a part of yourself that knows that you've cheated on this test, and that is not aligned with these values of honesty and fairness, right? So this part of you knows that. And on another level, you're saying to yourself that I'm honest and fair. And so now you've got these two conflicting parts of yourself. And something inside you shifts. Something deep in your self-image shifts, right? After you do this thing that is not in alignment with your values. And now you're contending, different parts of yourself are contending with your consciousness, really, right? Your dominant consciousness. So you have a growing part of your ego that wants to get ahead, and you've also got this value system, right? Honesty and fairness, and there's a battle. There's a battle inside yourself, and what this leads to is not knowing what to do when you confront another situation. Now, the part of you that wants to just get ahead, right, and doesn't care about the fairness and the honesty, right? There is that part of you, if you've cheated on this test, then that part of you has grown a little bit. It's become a little bit stronger because you have indulged in that part of yourself. So now the battle is inside you, and now you're confronted with another situation, and there's a greater battle suddenly, right? And so now you have a hard time making decisions, or this part of you continues to get bigger and stronger, and the values part, the honesty and fairness part of you is starting to feel real vulnerable now, right? It's starting to feel like it's losing its grip, and it can only, you as a whole individual can only keep telling yourself that you're honest and fair for so long before this part of you becomes so big that you just can't ignore it anymore, right? If you do keep ignoring it and just deceiving yourself, pretending it's not there, then this will lead to a lot of extra fragmentation in your personality, because you're going to have to find new ways to shut this part off, to ignore it, even though it's becoming big and strong and knocking on the door of your consciousness, right? So you start to question who you really are. Am I person A, who believes in honesty and fairness? Or am I this person B, who is who wants to get ahead at the sacrifice of the values? Who am I, right? And person B doesn't look so good to person A. So when you're in this person A mode of honesty and fairness, you're thinking of what you've done, and you're really hard on yourself. You're really like, this was, who am I really? Right? Why did I do that when I believe this? Right? And you start to judge yourself and say, that wasn't me. That wasn't a good thing. And you start to have feelings of negative self-worth. Negative self-worth. So I'm not worthy of being myself. I'm not worthy of calling myself honest. I'm not worthy of calling myself fair. I'm not worthy of this test result. I'm not worthy of this job. I'm not worthy of life itself, right? You start to have all of these negative self-worth ideas, and you don't even want to face yourself. You don't want to look at yourself in the mirror anymore. Your self-image starts to dwindle, right? And you start to hide aspects of yourself from others, not just from yourself, but also now from others. And this has social consequences. And now you've fragmented yourself even more, because now you're this other person when you're around other people in order to hide who you really are. And then you're lying to yourself, and, it becomes a huge mess. And when you start avoiding looking at yourself and avoiding that identity work, then that leads to problems like self-sabotage, depression, procrastination, addiction, confusion, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to make a decision, and not knowing who you are anymore, questioning your values, right? So these are the long-term effects, and they're pretty dire. These are the long-term effects of breaking integrity with yourself. But what if you've already broken integrity with yourself? Is that too late now? It's not too late. Okay, so it's never too late. You sit down and you're completely transparent with what's happened. It's good to have a journal with a pen or a computer with a blank journal with no distractions, so that you can be very clear with yourself about what's happened. You need to do the identity work. You need to analyze what you did. Ask yourself why you did what you did. Maybe it's a part of yourself that you've been neglecting, a part of yourself that you've been avoiding. That's called the shadow self, right? The part of yourself that you've been pretending is not there and just dumping into unconsciousness. That's your shadow self. And so what do you do when you're really clear and you journal and you analyze yourself and what you've done and why you've done it? What you do then, the next step, is to integrate that back into your life in a healthy way, right? So it's not integrated in your life in a way where it slams the values down and says, no, I'm more important than these values. No, there's a communication at work here between the values and this other part of yourself. How can it integrate into your identity, right? Because it's there. And it's no good to just throw it in prison and lock away the key and say it's not there, because it's going to come back, right? It's going to escape from those bars. It's going to, you're going to give it bail. You're going to let it out on bail, all right? Or it's going to do its time and then come back. And then maybe it won't have been rehabilitated, right? So what you need to do is you need to learn how to integrate it back into yourself in a healthy way, whatever that means for you, right? So if it's the part of yourself that wants to get ahead, then maybe it doesn't have to cheat in a test. Maybe it's the part of you that needs to think about that long before that opportunity ever came up, and instead knuckle down and study, right? And I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not going to say that is something that can be done overnight. You can integrate it though. What you need to do for yourself is to take a note of how to integrate it, how you can start to work in those darker, neglected parts of yourself back into your whole life. And don't try to will it out, right? Don't try to just throw it out. That's not healthy. Integrate it and you'll get back to integrity. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it on social media so that it can help other people as well. And if you want more videos like this, click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when I post new videos. I also have a podcast called Identity Coaching with Movies, where I use movies as coaching tools for your personal development. You can find my podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or directly on my website, GabrielSeanWallace.com. I have a link to my website in the description below, and on it you can read my blog. You can learn more about identity coaching and creativity coaching. And if you're interested in getting one-to-one coaching with me, or you know someone else who is, then you can learn more about it there and contact me via the website. You can also take a look at my creativity course, my 18-hour creativity course that will help you to access your inner creator and skyrocket your creativity and innovation so that you can apply it in any project in your life, including, my friend, the grandest project of them all, yourself. You can find that creativity course on my website or directly in the description below. There's a link. Okay, my friend, keep growing into you.